Hello everybody, this is Ryan, also known as MrMightyMcD, and today I'm doing a movie review of The Shining, a cult horror film classic from 1980 directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Danny Lloyd, Scatman Covers, Barry Nelson, and more. The Shining tells the story of the Torrance family, a mother, father and son who trek to an isolated hotel for the winter in order to look after it for a couple of months. But soon they find out that the hotel is haunted by an evil spiritual presence that turns Jack Torrance into a horrid, violent menace, whilst his psychic son sees horrific, foreboding images from the past and the future. It's a really interesting story, and it's based off Stephen King's novel with the same name, but Stephen King himself didn't find the film to do his novel enough justice and stick true to the material, but I still felt the story was interesting and engaging. The Shining is all about tension and the evolution of Jack Torrance, and it does it greatly. This is one of the few horror films that I can say is a true horror film and isn't just full of jump scares and other little quirks all the time. The Shining, even though it's over 3 decades old, it still feels as compelling and interesting as it probably did in the past, and I have to give it major props for that, because it really does feel like a lot of heart and soul went into this film. From what I read, some of the scenes Stanley directed took over 100 takes, hitting records, and even made some of the crew members cry, one in particular being Scatman, with him asking, "What do you want me to do, Mr. Kubrick?" And when I read this, it did make me think Stanley seems to be a bit of a prick and a bit of a compulsive bastard with all the shots he takes, but I have to give this guy credit because the films he makes, they're great. I mean, Clockwork Orange and Full Metal Jacket are just some examples. But how do I feel the acting holds up? I feel it's pretty good. Jack Nicholson's performance is something that I feel is on level with One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it's utter brilliance. His quote, "Here's Johnny," has been something of a phenomenon, and he has delivered lines that are so memorable. "Wendy, darling, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in." How can you not love that? The way he delivers everything is so genuine. Scatman is brilliant too. I found his performance in One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to be pretty good, but I think he topped himself here, and he feels like a very lovable character that is concerned for the family. Danny Lloyd, the boy with the psychic powers, was good too, and usually I'm a bit harsh on child actors, I'm not sure why, but some people usually go, "Oh, he was just a kid, give him some slack," but Danny Lloyd really was good in this film. It's just a shame I haven't managed to find him in other films, and he was a very good choice. Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, though, I don't think so much. I felt she overacted in many parts, and there could have been better actors for the job. She didn't seem to fit the character of Jack's wife well, and there seemed to be like a heavy contrast between the two characters. She got annoying for me towards the end, and I suppose she's alright in parts, but I just felt that there could have been a better actor for this character. As I mentioned earlier, The Shining is all about tension and the way it delivers it, and I think it's done very well, especially with the way the scenes are constructed and the music. Stanley Kubrick used some very interesting shot types, a lot of wide angles and sudden jolts of movement in the camera that I felt proved very effective and caught me off guard in some areas, but didn't feel like cheap scares, they were meaningful. The music is what stands out a bit more for me though. Personally, I felt the music was very good and worked well in areas, but also hurt my ears in other areas. You're either going to find the scene to be immensely intense, or you're either going to find it ear-wrenching with the sudden burst of wailing violins, but it's still done very well overall. I would say The Shining holds up today and is still a great film. If I was going to give it a rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. And whilst I personally wasn't scared by the film, I think Jack Nicholson's performance was fantastic, as well as some of the other actors. I felt the music was brilliant, even though in areas it did hurt my ears a bit. But it's the way this film delivers tension that sells it. It got me hooked. I would definitely recommend go out and watch The Shining if you haven't. It's a cult classic for a reason, and is ultimately a great film.